Welcome back to Algo PK. Today, we are learning about graphs. This is one of the most powerful and widely used data structures in computer science. So, what exactly is a graph? Think of it this way. A graph is simply a collection of points and lines connecting those points. The points are called vertices or nodes. The lines connecting them are called edges. In mathematics, we write it as G equals V, comma, E. V stands for vertices, and E stands for edges. Now you might be wondering, why should I care about graphs? Well, look around you. Graphs are literally everywhere. Think about Facebook. You are a node. Your friends are nodes. The friendships between you are edges. That is a graph. Think about Google Maps. Cities are nodes. Roads connecting cities are edges. That is also a graph. The internet itself is a graph. Websites are nodes. Hyperlinks are edges. Even your brain is a graph. Neurons are nodes, and the connections between them are edges. So basically, anytime you have things that are connected to other things, you have a graph. Before we move forward, let me quickly explain some important terms you will hear a lot. Vertex or node means a point in the graph. Edge means a connection between two vertices. When two vertices are connected by an edge, we say they are adjacent. Degree means how many edges are connected to a vertex. A path is a sequence of vertices connected by edges, like going from point A to point B to point C. A cycle is a special path that starts and ends at the same vertex. You go in a circle and come back to where you started. A connected graph means every vertex can reach every other vertex through some path. Now let's understand the different types of graphs. This is very important. First, we have undirected versus directed graphs. In an undirected graph, edges have no direction. If vertex A connects to vertex B, then B automatically connects back to A. Think of it like a two-way street. You can go both directions. A real-life example is Facebook friendships. If you are my friend, I am automatically your friend too. The relationship goes both ways. In a directed graph, which we also call a digraph, edges have a specific direction. A pointing to B does not mean B points back to A. It's like a one-way street. A real example is Twitter or Instagram followers. You can follow a celebrity, but they might not follow you back. The relationship. Next, we have weighted versus unweighted graphs. In an unweighted graph, all edges are equal. We only care about whether two nodes are connected or not. The edge is either there or it is not. Simple yes or no. A real example would be asking, are these two people friends? The answer is just yes or no. In a weighted graph, edges have different weights attached to them. These values are called weights. They can represent cost, distance, time, or any measurement. A real example is a road map. The distance from Delhi to Mumbai is 1,400 kilometers. The distance from Delhi to Jaipur is 280 kilometers. Different roads have different distances. Those distances are the weights. Finally, we have cyclic versus acyclic graphs. A cyclic graph contains at least one cycle. You can start at a node, travel through edges, and come back to the same node. An acyclic graph has no cycles at all. You can never return to where you started. There is a very important type called DAG, which stands for Directed Acyclic Graph. This is a directed graph with no cycles. It's used everywhere in computer science. A real example is course prerequisites. You must complete Course A before taking Course B. You must complete Course B before Course C. There cannot be circular dependencies, where Course C requires Course A, which requires Course C. That would be a cycle, and it is not allowed. Now, how do we actually store a graph in computer memory? There are two main methods. The first method is called adjacency list. In an adjacency list, each vertex keeps a list of all its neighbors. For example, if vertex 0 connected to vertices 1, 2, and 3, we write it as vertex 0 points to the list containing 1, 2, and 3. Vertex 1 points to its own list of neighbors, and so on for every vertex. The advantages of adjacency list are it's space efficient, it uses order of v plus e space. It's very easy to find all neighbors of any vertex. It works best for sparse graphs, meaning graphs with relatively few edges. The disadvantage is that checking if a specific edge exists takes some time. You have to search through the neighbor list. The second method is called adjacency matrix. In an adjacency matrix, we use a 2D array. If there's an edge between vertex I and vertex j, then the matrix at position ij equals 1. Otherwise, it equals 0. For weighted graphs, instead of 1, we store the actual weight value. The advantages of an adjacency matrix are we can check if any edge exists in constant time, order of 1. Just look at the matrix position. It's simple to implement. It works best for dense graphs, meaning graphs with many edges. The disadvantage is that it uses order of v squared space. For sparse graphs, this wastes a lot of memory. So, which should you choose? If your graph is sparse with few edges, use adjacency list. If your graph is dense with many edges, use adjacency matrix. If you need to quickly check whether a specific edge exists, use adjacency matrix. If you need to iterate through all neighbors frequently, use adjacency list. If memory is limited, use adjacency list.